Hi, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Melissa Catoni, and today I am going to show you how to set up a successful wedding vendor booth. All right, so when you become interested in hosting a vendor booth, whether it's a farmer's market, a sporting event, a wedding expo, you are going to start pre-planning before you actually jump into the actual planning a vendor booth. So here's a couple of things that you do need to take in consideration. So one of them is going to be your target audience. So who are you going to target? Are you going to target families for family vacations, family cruises? Are you going to target senior citizens for senior trips or senior cruises? Wedding expos, that one is a big one. You can do destination weddings, bachelorette parties, honeymoons. Yeah, so the list goes on and on and on who you want to sell to. All right, so once you find out who you want to actually target, that is going to be your point of where you want to research different expos. In this case, Google is going to be your best friend. If you Google like different like farmers market expos or wedding expos or anything like that in Google, more than likely you will get a good list that will show up. So you just kind of go down that list and you just kind of pick and choose um which one you would like to join. All right. So when you become a vendor, that does come with a price. So generally, you do have to pay in order to be a vendor at an expo or a farmer's market, and it will range. I have seen prices go from anywhere from $25 all the way up to $1,600. So when you're planning out what expo you want to join and how often you want to join those expos, be aware of a budget because when you do an expo, you're almost like gambling on what kind of clientele or what kind of business you're going to get from that. So if I were to give any advice to you, try
Well,
and start small before you go
um,
any bigger
hold
than
on one
that.
second. Let me just.
All right. And then when you do find out which expos or which farmers markets that you do want to join, reach out to the showrunners, reach out to the hosts of those farmers markets. And that's going to be your time to ask any questions that you may have. A big one in my case, I am my niche is weddings, destination weddings, honeymoons, bachelorette parties, group travel. So so two big questions that I always have are there going to be other travel agents there? And how many people attend those expos? Because that will give you a good idea on if it's going to be worth it or not. And that's also going to be give you a good idea on how much that you will need to prepare for that. All right. So then the next thing you want to do is kind of plan out your layout. So how do you want your booth to look? When you're given a booth or a area, that is going to be your area. You get to do whatever you would like. You get to set up your table or tables of however you would like. So that will kind of be your plan on almost drawing a blueprint on how you want it to look like. And then once you do lock in your expo, do not wait to order your collateral. I cannot stress this enough. Only because I feel as though it has been taking longer and longer and longer for collateral to come in. For an example, I ordered sandals collateral almost 2 months ago. It just arrived to my house yesterday, and it wasn't even the whole order. So when I say order your collateral, get as much as you can. And I'm going to go over the different types of collateral here in a little bit and how to make it more resourceful for you. All right. And then for your first expo or first farmers market, first event, I would want to give yourself at least a minimum of 4 months to plan. All right. So because this is going to be the time where you are going to be buying everything for your expo. And a lot of it you're going to be able to keep for future expos if you do choose to keep going in that route. And then last but not least, making sure that you space out your expos. Try not to tackle a lot of them all at once. try and do maybe like once every other month maybe. Don't try and do it every month because by the time you're planning, you actually do the expo, your next thing you're going to do is follow up with your clientele, and that's going to take a while. So you want to make sure you give yourself ample time in between each expo, um, for to do all of like the pre-planning, the planning, the post-planning, post follow-up. All right, and then the next thing you are going to need is bringing your essentials. So this is going to be a big thing. Making a list of what exactly you are going to need to bring with you. And it's not going to be anything small. It's your whole trunk in your car is going to be full of stuff. All right. So the first thing you are going to want is a banner with your logo. You can have your social media tags on there. You can have a QR code on there. You can have your phone number on there, your email address. So for an example, you see my banner I kept on the table, but there are banners where you can have it standing up. You can have a rollout banner. You can have a banner hanging from a backdrop. So however you choose, that is your decision. Tables, chairs, tents. So in my experience, it was a hit or miss on who actually provided chairs and who actually provided tables. So they will tell you that when you go to sign up, whether you have to provide your own or if you would have to rent at an additional cost. If they make you bring your own table or rent, I would just go out and just buy your own 6-foot table, 8-foot table, because the cost to rent a table there is probably double of what it would be just to buy one for yourself and just keep it. If you're doing a farmer's market, you may want to bring a tent, especially if it's outside and it's sunny and it's 90 degrees. Definitely want to stay cool. Table covers. Yeah, so if you want any pop of color, go ahead and throw on like a table cover overlay, just kind of give a little oomph. Business cards. Always, always, always have lots and lots of business cards. You can either have them stacked up on your table or you just spread them out like confetti all over your table, but make it known that anybody could just go up and just grab one and take it as they go. Business cards are also good for just stapling in the back of brochures as well. I have also seen people putting business card in like those little organza bags with like little pieces of candy in them. That's another idea you can also do. Marketing material. So this one is going to be a tricky one. So you are going to need a lot of marketing. Me personally, I hated carrying the boxes. So what I did was I just took what I needed and I threw it all in ginormous suitcases and just wheeled them in. So however you want to do it, that is completely up to you. But all I have to say is bring more than what you need because you never know what the outcome is going to be. Giveaways and raffles. So I don't know if you are aware of this, but Marnie Hernandez, she has a Facebook page for vouchers. And I will give this and I will make sure to post that in the chat after this. But what you can do is it's a one-time fee of $12 and you get access to a bunch of different vouchers. You get access to vouchers for Vegas vacations, resort stays, cruises. It's endless and it's unlimited. So it's only that one-time fee of $12 and you have access to it all. So this is actually good for giving out like raffles. So with the raffles, you want to make sure you have like raffle slips. You want to make sure you have the raffle bowls. So here you see I have that little bowl up here in the front. And then I had like those little slips that they could fill out. And I'll show you here in a little bit what those slips and email slips look like as well. And I had giveaway and raffles twice. Sorry about that. Brochure holders. So I cannot stress this enough. When people are walking by your booth, they're looking left and right, right? So when you have stuff that are just flat on the table, they're not seeing what you are actually selling. So you want to make sure everything is propped up and they can see it. So when they're walking by, they take a glimpse and they're like, oh, cruises, oh, resorts, let's go look over here. So it catches their attention more than having to actually go up to your table and having to look down, if that makes sense. Email sign-up sheets, and I will show you that in a little bit, but it kind of gives you a good lead on having a mailing subscription list, and you can and you can send out monthly emails with different deals. You can do mock bookings and send it to them. Clipboards, pens, pencils. This is what I call the Expo first aid kit. Because you're going to need it all, because there's going to be times where you are going to need a compromise, and you're going to need safety pins, you are going to need batteries, you are going to need pens, pencils, pencil sharpeners, you name it, you're going to need it. So at least get like a good tackle box together of um the most useful office supplies that you would normally need. Same thing with like staplers, staples. Make it fun. Here you see I did like some little flowers. I went to my local Dollar Tree and I went and got some fake flowers. And what I did was I just pulled the flowers right off the stems, and I kind of just went over it like confetti a little bit. In the bowl you can't see, but I got like those little gemstones, and then I put them at the bottom along with like some seashells, and I made it look like a little tropical oasis thing going on. All right. I cannot stress this enough. Once again, bring a push cart or some kind of a cart to put everything on, because from where you enter doesn't mean your booth is going to be right there. My first expo where I entered, my booth was all the way on the complete opposite side of the entire arena where I was at. So instead of having to go back and forth trying to carry in heavy boxes, heavy suitcases, bring a push cart, make it a one-stop shop. It will be very, very, very easy for you. Last but not least, if you are in the business by yourself, try and bring somebody to help you. They can help you as far as setting up your table, as far as refilling the email sheets or the raffles or brochures. Because when you're in the middle of an expo of, let's just say, minimum 500-600 people, you're going to need that help. All right. So I always tend to bring somebody with me no matter what. Even if it's somebody just there to help restock, every little bit helps. So whether it's a best friend, girlfriend, cousin, sister, brother, always try and bring somebody with you if you can. Yeah, because they are definitely very good for moral support too, and just kind of motivate you a little bit more, especially if you're doing your first expo. All right, so I do want to show you what my raffle slips and my email slips generally look like. So as I stated before, I mostly do wedding expos just because I'm more in the weddings, destination weddings niche per se. So this is what my email slips look like. So I have my name, or have them put their name, phone number, email. If they are interested in a specific destination and for any reason I either ran out of that collateral or marketing, and they want me to send them something, they will just be able to put in where their destination that they want to go, and then I'll be able to follow up with them after. And then this is gonna be the part, what are your current travel needs? Whether it's bachelorette, destination wedding, honeymoons, try and get their interest. All right, and then I have a raffle slip that I give everybody to for those who are interested in doing the raffle. So my first raffle, I only did the cruise, but I realized that not everybody's a fan of cruises. So I did a land or sea giveaway. So they either got the choice of a 4-night cruise or a 4-night Mexico trip. So to enter, they would just have to put in their name, their email address. Did they want the land or did they want the sea, their wedding date? And that is going to be very good if you do go into the wedding expo. If you do go into the wedding expos, that will be very useful for after the show. And then just try and get their interest besides of just going into the expo. All right. Being resourceful with your digital marketing. So this is a big thing that I have come across when it comes to actually getting collateral. A lot of the land collateral, should I say, have gone fully digital, such as Pleasant Holidays went fully digital. AM Resorts, which that one is a big one, that went fully digital. So in the back of my mind, I was just starting out. I did not want to put in thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in prints. So what I did was I made them into QR codes, and I'll show you guys in a little bit of what they look like. Another thing you can do is if you do have access to digital marketing, a lot of them will give you videos that you can download. Make videos, put them on a screen, bring like a little computer screen or your laptop screen. Show them what you actually have and what you can offer. As I was saying before, those are mostly for the inclusive resource. So those are like your secrets, your breathless, Zoetry, Sunscape, Pleasant Holidays. They went fully digital as well, and some sandals as well. All right, so for my QR codes, I just want to just kind of give you guys a little tidbit here. So I use a program called Flow Code. So there is a free version, but I use the pro version. I do pay the $15 a month just because I use more of it than what the free version offers. So it's all up to you. I can show you guys after this too of what it looks like and how I use it. All right, so when I make it into a QR code, so I am taking a 68-page brochure. So can you only imagine how much money it would be just to print out that one brochure of 68 pages? That is going to be a lot of money just for that one. And then when you got to make several copies of each one, yeah, it just that one is just going to be very pricey. So you can make a 68-page brochure and turn it into a QR code that looks like that. And the cost of that for, I believe it was like 40 or 45 copies, $15. That's all it cost me. And because you're using this for your business, you could take that receipt and mark it off as a business expense. So remember that. All right, practice makes perfect. So a couple things that you are going to need to know is first you want to do is make a checklist. So leading up to the actual event, you kind of want to start making a list of what exactly you are going to need. Maybe the night or two before, you want to do a mock setup. So if you have a table just laying around, set it up. Practice what you want your table to look like. Turn that dream into a reality. Pack everything the night before, making sure that you have everything you need, making sure you're not rushing in the morning because more than likely your setup time is going to be very early. Which kind of brings me into number 4, making sure the week of you are confirming your move-in and setup times. Some vendors will let you, or some expos will let you come in the night before. Some people will be the day of. So you just want to make sure you check in with them on that information. The day of, making sure that you arrive early. All right, because nothing is worse than you having to go in and rush and only have like 45 minutes and you haven't eaten anything. So that's another thing you want to do after you set up. Go eat something because you're going to be on your feet for like 3, 4, 5 hours before you can even eat anything. So making sure you are good, you're energized, your head is in the game, and you are good to go. Number 6, when you get to your expo and you get to where your booth is going to be, plan to make any adjustments. So that is when I was telling you, making that little office supply first aid kit almost is what I call it. Because there's going to be times where you will need to make compromises. All right. And then as far as your clients go, you want to make sure you give them the first and lasting impression on you. So here are some do's and don'ts that I felt as though were very successful. So the do's, so you want them to come to you. All right. So what I mean by that is you don't want to be going through and going up and down the aisles, grabbing people. You don't want to block people's ways or pulling people into your booth. Let them come to you. All right. Another thing you want to do is don't ask about their interest right away. When they approach you, you just don't want to be like, "Are you interested in this?" No. That is going to put like the worst impression on you because they're going to find you as very pushy. Right. So what I felt helpful was I asked them about the show. Hey, how are you? How's the show? Are you having fun? And then that is going to be the part where I'll ask them like, oh, so who's the bride? Who's getting married? And then kind of like engages. And then that's going to be the part where you're going to realize who is who in that group. So this is the bride, this is maid of honor, this is mother of the bride. So that is going to be like, that's going to be your gold mine there. If you, especially if you get a group of people, right? Because here you got the bride. So you got your honeymoon or a destination wedding. You got the maid of honor. The big thing is destination bachelorette parties. So, a lot of maid of honors, they don't want to deal with that. So they're gonna hire somebody or have somebody do the work for them. So there, you just killed two birds with one stone just there. Another thing you want to do is show everything what you have to offer. Don't tell them that you only have access to cruises and flights. Show them, yeah, I can do your tours. Yes, I can book your excursions, your concert tickets, your sporting events. Show them everything that you have to offer. All right. Um, Another thing, making sure that you have that friendly smile. Show off that personality. How I put it is, as long as you put that smile on your face, you're going to be in a happy mood. All right. Because when people come up to you and you're just monotone and you look like you're hating life, yeah, they're not going to want to book with you because they're going to think throughout that whole booking process and then booking with you, they're just going to think that you're just going to be miserable and not accommodating. So making sure that you form that connection with them. Let them know you will follow up with them after the show. If they sign up for your emails or sign up for the raffles, just let them know you will follow up with them. When I do my follow-ups, I do it immediately throughout that entire next week. I don't wait anymore after that. Dressing for the event. So whether you're doing a wedding expo or a farmer's market, a craft show, sporting event, making sure you're dressing appropriately for that one event. All right, the don'ts. Like I was saying before, don't approach them, don't pull them into your booth, don't block them. Just let them come to you. Don't make them guess on what you can do. Because they're gonna ask, so do you only do cruises or do you only do resorts? Do you only do flights? No, you are going to give them that whole spiel right away on what you can do. Don't be pushy and demanding. A lot of the times when people come to your booth, they don't even know what they want. So when they come to me and they say, yeah, we're still in the air on what we want to do, I just say, great. So you're coming in with an open mind. That's awesome. Like that's a good segue to kind of get their minds jogging. And then that's where they're going to be like, well, we kind of want the beach. We kind of want something tropical. And then, okay, the Caribbean, there you go. It's easy peasy. Another thing you don't want to do is make them decide on a trip right away. When you are at a vendor event, do not book during your event. Don't. That's a big don't, because if you're trying to book during an event, all those people who you could be tending to during that time, they're just going to leave if you're trying to book during an event. So you just tell them, write your name on the little email slip and we will follow up with you. Do not eat in front of them. No, there's nothing more than having to talk to somebody with a sandwich in their mouth or chewing gum or anything or any of that sort. Water, I would say, is fine because yeah, you will be doing a lot of talking during that time. But just try and limit it in front of the attendees. Don't sit, because if you are sitting and you have like a big booth in front of you, nobody's gonna see you. So people are gonna be like, okay, well, there's nobody to talk to. And last but not least, do not wear your pajamas, which I believe that is very self-explanatory. All right, so sealing the deal. So this is what I find very helpful when it comes to actually getting clientele from these expos and these vendor events. So take the following few weeks to follow up with your email signups, add them to your emailing list, follow up with those who needed more information. Another thing you want to do is use your raffles to your advantage. Yeah, so if your raffles had, okay, so what were they interested in? Were they interested in wellness retreats? Were they interested in honeymoons? So you can just kind of go off there when you're emailing them, be like, okay, hey, we're going to be announcing the winner on this date, but I see you're interested in this. So that's another way just to kind of pull them in. Um, this is a big one for weddings. So follow up every few months. So just because they went to a wedding expo, they weren't going in with anything, looking to book anything specific. They were just looking on the most part, just getting interest, just getting ideas. So a good thing you want to do is follow up every couple months. Be like, hey, it was great seeing you at blah 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 farmers market or blah 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 expo. Were you still interested in booking a trip for this location? And then they'll say yes, no, and then I've had people come up to me or contact me months after um an expo and be like, hey, like we're ready to book. I actually just booked a destination wedding from the first wedding expo that I did back in what was it, October, and I just booked a full on destination wedding just a few weeks ago. Yeah, so between October and now, yeah, so you may not see direct results, but you will get results as long as you trust the process here. All right, so I know that was quick and kind of to the point. All right, so let me go ahead and